Let's see. The next one, number 6, Georgia, 12-1 versus number 5, Florida State, 13-0. 13-0. Capital One Orange Bowl, Saturday, December the 30th at 4:00 on ESPN from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. Tons of players in the portal, but I haven't seen a ton of information on opt-outs. Obviously, Carson Beck is playing in this one. So, Matt, with that information, what do you got for Capital One Orange Bowl?
I want to point out that these two teams have played each other 11 times. The last time they played, I was at that game, the 2003 Sugar Bowl, back when Mark Richt and Bobby Bowden were still coaching against each other.
Nice.
By the way, that was the last time they met, and previous to that, the only other time that Florida State and Georgia played was 1965. So a little bit of a gap there. That being said, Georgia is going to be so pissed. So pissed. So pissed. It's going to be awful. If you're a Florida State fan, I would recommend not letting your kids watch this. Georgia right now, according to Vegas, is favored by 14. Georgia is a great team and has been a great team all year, and they've managed to beat the spread on several occasions. I'm going to go ahead and say they beat the spread here. I'm going to say Georgia wins this thing 38-10.
Okay. It still baffles me to go undefeated, lose by 3 points to a really good team, and then drop from number 1 to number 6. But at the same token, it also baffles me to go undefeated, battle through injuries to key players, win a Power 5 conference championship, and not have a chance to play in the playoffs. I'm still baffled at both of those. But be that as it may, both of these coaches now are in a position where they have to find a way to motivate their teams for this one, right? Which is going to be tough. I mean, honestly. It's a catch-22 for me as a Georgia fan, because obviously I want the Dogs to win. But if they win big, as they're expected to do, then it just sort of validates the committee's decision to leave FSU out. So Georgia's got a ton of players that just hit the portal, as I just mentioned, but none that I expect are going to make an impact on this game. Still don't really know about Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey. Regardless, I think Kirby's going to get the team motivated to show the world that the SEC championship was just a fluke, and to finish the season strong as hopefully a springboard for next season. I hope so. Florida State's defense, I think, will slow things down a little bit for Georgia. And I think Florida State's offensive struggles will allow the Dogs to pull away. So granted, Georgia's defense this year has been kind of a shadow of its former self for the past 2 years, but I think they play inspired football in this one. I'm going Dogs 24-7. Jesse?
The Bridesmaid Bowl.
Oh,
it is that.
Oh, that hurt, Jesse. Oh, that's so cruel. And
I know, but I did feel really clever coming up with it.
That was good. I liked it. It was awful.
Terrible. And I apologize a little bit, but not a lot. Wes, I think, is absolutely correct. And when Georgia boat races Florida State, it will validate the committee's decision, and people will be big mad. Georgia fans will continue to be big mad because that it is what it is. Florida State fans will be big mad, and they will just be arguing that had they had their quarterback, but like, get out. I also agree that it will be hard to motivate teams that feel like they have missed out on what they deserved. And I don't know how you motivate people to do that. I don't know how you motivate young men who are on the verge of a really big payout to play in a game that doesn't matter. But I digress. That's not my job. So I'm going to pick the Dogs in this one in a very ugly game. If you're a Florida State fan, 31-13.
One thing that is nice and, possible motivator for players in college now is the whole NIL thing, where the NFL is a nice prospect, but you can make millions in college now. So,
yeah, you can.
So from that standpoint, perhaps the motivation and the opt-outs will be less. But we'll.
Yeah, see, but then I go back to, they still don't want to get hurt because they still want to be able to play next year to get a big NIL deal. I don't know. There is no answer here, except that UGA wins this ball game big time.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with that.